Alright, I was told to go live. Let me flip my screen. I'm not going to be going for very long, but I'm not going to be going for very long. Probably going to be going for like an hour. Yeah, I'm going to be going live for a little bit. I got some new prompts. Hello, Mr. De Niro.
How's it going, Protect?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. You got any kids?
No, but working on that, trying to find the one.
Hell yeah, man. You got this.
Yeah. I was just told to go live last minute. So I can do it for a little bit.
Yeah,
Honey, how you doing?
Yo, what's going on?
Doing all right. I'm just doing it live because I'm probably gonna be going in an hour, but we can get some conversations in. Let me get the prompt.
Okay. I might be in and out, but totally fine. What's everybody doing? Oh.
I think this one is related to Father's Day.
KJ, are you?
Yeah, he's fine.
Me and the host go way back. Ain't that right, voices?
Yeah, you could say that.
Way back.
I'm not gonna let Gadfly come up. He's been up like 3 times.
Oh, he's requesting again?
No, he's not requesting, but like,
dude, that literally cooked my brain, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here and like, I'm about to go to sleep now. I cannot even take this, and then here comes fucking Wildflower. I'm like, oh god.
Her stance is like all over the place. I don't really take it seriously.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I know what ought not to be, but I'm not willing to apply that across the board. Like, why do we have laws or anything in that case? Right. If you just think that anything, I think that, yeah, murder ought not to be, or murder ought not to be, but I don't apply that. Like, what? I don't know, it's crazy. Any balls, KJ.
Hello.
Your brother.
Corey.
Nicholas.
Bro. I can't believe that. That's like misgendering.
Is it? I'm saying your dead name or what?
Yeah. Don't say it. Come get ya. Okay, I gotta go pee.
Alright, let's keep it civilized in here. I'm only gonna go for like probably an hour. Then I'll come back later tonight. I'm all out of prompt ideas, so yeah.
You should do if T women are women. Sorry.
I mean, I don't really talk about that topic. I mean,
I love talking about that topic.
Me too.
Sorry. Fuck.
All good. It's allergy season. You're okay.
Goodness.
Yeah. I know I got really sick this week. So does anybody want to hear me sing?
No.
Go for it.
You got this mute up.
Let me love you. Let me be the one to get you out.
Cool.
We had enough of that.
Please. Good.
You're-
Nah.
Yeah, my YouTube's in my bio.
What, boys?
My YouTube is in my bio, so you can read that.
I've watched them a couple times.
They're pretty long, so they're like hours long.
Yeah, 8 hours, 4 hours. Unedited, good.
BRB, guys, real quick.
I'm gonna take our box.
Yeah, I'm going. Oh no, not Bunny.
Yeah, no way.
Finally, my god. Fucking slowpoke.
Is Infidel?
We had him already. I mean, you guys can talk to him for a little bit. I think he's sentient, so you guys can talk to him. I'm gonna keep this going for probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Infidel, are you pro-choice, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your stance?
12 weeks, sentience, and the fetus must cause harm in the future, whether physical strain, injury, or deprivation.
Oh, I was debating it the other day.
I take a lot of debates if someone wants to take it. KJ, do you want to take it? Do you debate?
No thanks.
A board show?
She's loading in. Let me try to
connect her. Okay, well, I'll just get your stance real quick. Okay, so
fuck me then, Corey.
Oh yeah, well you already debated him though.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Let me disconnect. Let me disconnect Misty and re-invite her up. This is only gonna be 20 minutes as I gotta go. So,
Hour to 30 minutes to 20
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. I'll restart when I get back. You guys can talk to him.
Okay. Hold up. Okay. Anyway, wait, what was your stance? Can you restate it one more time? Sorry.
12 weeks sentience, and it also has to cause harm in the future, whether through physical strain, deprivation, or injury.
Okay, so how do you track it has to cause harm in the future if, pregnancy isn't cashing out your principle of harm?
All cases of birthing or a C-section causes physical strain to the mother's body.
Okay, so it just has to cause harm in the future, but this isn't actually a standard you're setting. You're just saying this because pregnancy is actually cashing out the harm value already?
I don't understand the statement, right? So, are you asking me the question, am I hashing out that it will be the case, harm will occur in the future?
Yes.
Well, yes, that's what I've said.
Okay. Well, you said that, yeah, it has to be. Okay, so, okay, that's fine. And you're 12 weeks on sentience, is that what you said?
Yeah.
And what's your evidence for that? Why do you hold that stance?
Yeah, so because prior to this, there's no physical connection to the subplate. So it wouldn't be in order to have subjective experiences, you need some connection to the senses via the brain, some parts of the brain, such as the subplate. If there is no connection involved, it's not physically possible to have some sort of sensory experiences.
Okay, and just and I don't know your debate. Do you argue flow, that we're not flowing into this, or do you just think that you're saying bodily autonomy?
It's just not relevant.
Okay, so even if we were to know say at week 10, we know that it is definitely with 100% certainty going to hit sentience, right? And then hold on, I should ask a very fine question. I guess does the woman's rights change before and after this 12 weeks?
Yeah, it would. Sentience would supersede the condition.
Okay, and then like, is it only medical instances in that case?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So if a being is going to hit like sentience and let's just say like we know with 100% certainty that a being is going to hit sentience, and he's going to have like all these futures experience, etc. And depriving him of these future experiences would be viewed as immoral, right? And so do you like sign off on the idea that you're okay with even knowing that they're going to hit sentience?
I don't
Depriving
think
them of this?
there's two things here. One, I don't think a fetus is harmed via flow prior to 12 weeks. Um, it depends how you hash out flow. Are you saying that a fetus is better off if we keep it alive? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes,
so
I am.
how would you be able to ground that if we're coming to a being who's never had a personal identity of any collection of interests? What would you be exactly when you say deprive them of future experiences in which they've never had experiences? Well, what's the argument you're better off if you begin to exist versus non-existence?
So the argument that you begin to exist versus non-existence is, I think that basically what you're asking me is like, I'll just ignore the first part because I think it's pretty evident what I mean by what's my evidence for this. But I'll engage in the second part, which is, what is my idea that that it's good to exist versus not exist. Kind of an ableist stance, but I would say existing, right, would be good in a sense that if left up to, let's just say the being hits sentience, and I say, hey, or it hasn't hit sentience yet. Let's just say I can talk to it, and I say, hey, fetus or whatever, at whatever point they are, I say, hey, fetus. Do you think that I would be depriving you if I just eliminated you right now because you don't have like any individual like principle of harm or any brain development that would like make you even know what's going on? And so I think that you can deprive something of something just because it doesn't have an understanding of what's currently happening, but depriving it from future experiences. I believe futures exist. Now, maybe I'm not tracking the question.
Yeah, you wouldn't be, because what I'm saying to you is that things without any types of cognition or subjective experiences, what's the argument? They're better off if they begin to have those experiences versus never having those experiences.
Well, I think being able to experience anything is a moral good, and so left up to the being, like if all you would be asking is, does the being think that it's being deprived of something, and then even the being would agree that yes, it is. So
I'll make an easy hypothetical for you to understand here. So, if all I could experience was to be raped, and that's the only experience I could experience once I begin to exist with subjective experiences, are you saying that experience is inherently good?
wait, can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
If I'm born into existence and the only experience I can attain is just to have the experience of grape and its effects, and that's the only thing I could sustain or have awareness of, would you say that experience is inherently good?
No, I think experiences can be subjectively. Experiences are subjective, right? It's not going to be good in every single instance, but I think it ought to be the case that you don't make the proactive decision to unalive this being based
No,
off.
but we're not arguing whether we should have. Well, obviously, the general conversation is saying if we're allowed to do this or not. But what's in question is that you're saying you're better off if you begin to exist. Obviously,
Yes, if you paint up a picture of the worst possible existence, yeah, I would agree with that. Because
okay, so even if you begin to have positive experience and some bad experiences, what's the argument as a net benefit for a fetus than never experiencing whatsoever?
Yeah, so it's a net benefit because like utility to society. There's like a bunch like utility to society, obviously. What they provide as far as that goes. I think just this is like an ableist stance. I think experiencing something is obviously good. This would be based off of.
That can't be true because I gave you. You think it's sometimes good, not always good. So
I think it's obviously good in most situations.
Wait a minute. I thought he's supposed to be investigating your stance. It seems like he's burden shifting. I don't know.
It's not
Like,
burden shifting. He's saying the position. He asked me if I hold to flow, and he's trying to make a stance on like, well, if it's 5 minutes before sentience and they have flow, would you give them consideration? And I said, well, probably not, because I don't think they can be harmed with flow prior to sentience. I don't think it exists in such a comparative worldview in which we say, oh, they would be better off if they begin to have these subjective experiences. I don't accept that.
sorry. Yeah, he doesn't value flow. But I mean, what's the argument that you need to have sentience to be harmed?
No, it's not that you need sentience to be harmed. It's just that you need sentience to be harmed into some sort of flow account. Because if you're saying that you're better off once you've never had experiences and then you're given experiences, well, I don't think that follows. Because we can say that no negatives, no positives is just a neutral state, while you think that there should be given up to chance of between good and negatives, right? There is no negative states in non-existence.
All right.
Are you saying like negative states are? I mean, you're acting like if people experience any net negative state, I don't know how you're cashing out negative, right? But if you're saying if anyone experiences like net negative states, then they should just be basically proactively AB'd because they might experience some net negative state.
I'm saying that you're not worse off if you're aborted before 12 weeks.
Because you're in a neutral state?
And yeah, I think a neutral state will is not a negative state. Aborting a fetus is not going to be negative to its comparative account.
Yeah, that's I mean, okay, so what if we can guarantee that this person has 100% positive life?
Obviously, my main concern in my field of view is that it's going to cause harm to a mother. I don't care what it will have; it just hasn't attained anything in which I would ground it as having some sort of like positive valences or anything that actually matters to me.
And I guess you're cashing out harm as the potential to have harm without actually, basically actively harming the mother.
This physical strain or deprivation of injury. That's all I said harm is.
The physical strain. So, like headaches, migraines, these types of things.
Sure, but obviously my main concern is the expansion of your private parts.
Okay. And so, like you would understand, like AB also has like these sorts of risk, right?
Prior to 12 weeks, the physical strain is much less.
I mean, I could probably make the same argument, like prior to 12 weeks, the physical strain is less for the mother than after sentience, but...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying like during pregnancy.
I'm confused. All I'm saying is if you have an abortion in the first trimester, you go through less physical strain.
I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know they're pregnant for, 12 weeks or something. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't know that.
All right. So 5 more minutes. I'm gonna have to conclude for now.
Yeah. Why do you debate?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you pro-choice or pro-life?
Pro-life.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you're cashing out harm on an elastic scale, right? Something that can happen that hasn't yet happened and might not happen at all. And then after 12 weeks, then you value this to be something that, is hitting all your precursors for existence. So I'm not really sure how you're cashing out harm ought to be something that just proactively eliminates the utility from society whenever it hasn't actually occurred currently.
Yeah, but there's many cases where preventative harm is justified, such as stopping a sexomnia patient, or like I'm not certain the guy running at me with a weapon is going to unalive me.
Imagine if we lived like that. We're just going to live in a world where we just try to prevent harm.
Exactly.
So let's not drive. Let's not walk. Let's not get out of bed. Let's just lay in bed and.
I already gave you 2 cases of when we can prevent harm before it actually occurs. Right.
That's incredibly stupid to argue.
Wait, I'm going to ask you, Whitey, is it the case that I can unalive someone who's trying to grape me prior to them touching me?
What?
Do you answer the question?
If you can unalive someone, if graping you, cry if you touch me?
No, I said if someone is attempting to grape you but hasn't touched you yet, is it justified to unalive you?
Yeah, then you should do everything in your power to stop that person from graping you
harms before they
without unaliving them.
How do you have the
Wait,
foreseeability?
sorry.
Of
Would it be immoral to unalive
Is
them?
that immoral to say that?
Would it be immoral to unalive them?
Yo, is this dude?
It wouldn't
He's
be
saying
immoral
some
of
shit.
self-defense if someone is committing an atrocious or an atrocity like that.
Wait, prior to them actually committing the atrocious crime.
What's that?
Wait, so it is justified to unalive them prior to them touching you, attempting to rape you.
Not prior. They would have to have committed, or they would have to be in the about to or committing the action.
That's a reductio. Okay.
So you have to do it. Hey.
Like they'd have to be.
Wait.
So
So you're saying I have an obligation to wait? Oh wait, are you saying I have an obligation to wait until they've actually?
Yes, infidel.
Why?
Absolutely, they need to make
They
need to make their actions clear. If their actions aren't clear, and I'm guessing in my head, that would make me a murderer.
Oh, so it has to be foreseeable. Great, it's foreseeable.
Not foreseeable. That would be guessing, right?
So let me
Wait, no. If someone is attempting to grape you, I agree. It has to be foreseeable that they're going to grape you.
How would it be? How would it be foreseeable? How would you know?
Wait, yeah. So if he's saying I'm going to grape you now and runs after you, that would be foreseeable.
If he tells you.
Well, that would be one indication. Yes.
All right. Well, I don't see how any of this is related to abortion.
Great. So in the case of abortion, it is foreseeable that you either go through a C-section or your private spot have to expand in order.
Yeah.
To
So that's part of being a mother. You sacrifice your own well-being for your children.
That begs the question: you could just stop being a mother by having an abortion.
Yeah, and that would be ungodly and it would be unethical. If you value people. For one, children are the most innocent people. Would you not agree?
No.
No.
But the live's obviously going to end in 2 minutes.
Do you value humanity?
Are you able to go live in 2 minutes? I'll follow you, and one of you should go live, and I'll debate you there.
Yeah, I sorry guys, this is very last minute, so I'm gonna have to conclude pretty soon. I can do this later tonight, probably 9 o'clock.
Where's a baby safe if it's not safe in its mother's womb?
Safe? I don't care whether it.
Clearly, you don't care. It's you don't care about a baby.
I don't.
How do you not care about the most innocent soul?
Mango,
the most innocent part of humanity.
It doesn't matter whether it's innocent,
when you're a child,
if it causes some harm in the future.
What?
Because
of the potential to cause harm in the future?
No, it will cause harm in the future.
Okay, because that baby will cause harm. And the mother will inevitably cause harm as well, right?
Okay.
So should we just unalive the mother too while we're at it?
The distinction
is...
we
unalive the mother and the baby because individuals will end up inevitably causing harm?
The distinction
that is such a stupid argument.
You just let me answer your question, because the distinction is sentience.
What?
The mother, it just means that they have the ability of subjective experiences.
And you don't think babies have subjective experiences?
Not prior to 12 weeks, no.
How do you know that?
Because there's no physical connection to the subplate prior to 12 weeks. It's necessary to have...
do you know when a consciousness forms?
Consciousness is different from subjective experiences.
And not at all. It would be the same exact thing.
No, actually, no, it's not.
It would be literally the same exact thing.
It's definitionally two different... Look, I have 10 seconds left. Look, Whitey, I'll debate you on another live right now. I'll make one and I'll invite you.
Okay, go make one. I'll join you.
I followed you. Follow me back.